Hey everyone, David Nuno here, TexAgs Rewind, brought to you by T-Mobile. We'll tell you a little bit about T-Mobile in a minute, but let me tell you about the show first off. Mike Elko, he's going to Duke. We had to break that down. The news came down on Friday. We had all weekend to kind of break things down, and this morning we talked about it extensively. Tom Hart joined us on the show. We talked some college hoops. We talked some college football, the changes coaching-wise, and some of the rivalries out there, and some coaches. Buzz Williams on the program talked about the TCU loss. That was not good, but that's all right. Good things are coming ahead for them. And Billy Liucci joined us, of course. It's a Monday. We talked a little bit about Cruton. Love that. And I do want to remind you that this show is brought to you by T-Mobile. And they want you to visit T-Mobile.com/AcrossAmerica to learn more how you can get value and coverage with T-Mobile. And here's some value with Texas A&M coverage on TexAgs Rewind. I didn't get to talk to OB about it, but why Duke? Why now? Got a lot of things to get into. Good morning to you, OB.
Good morning.
It is the Go Hour, by the way, and it is TexAgs Radio.
Was it a good weekend for you?
It was. I finally got some stuff done at the house, which nobody at home or at work cares about my personal life. But that being said, it was nice to get certain things, and yeah, it was nice just to start feeling like we're living here for reals.
Well, that's good. That's good. It was better than my weekend going over to Houston and watch the Aggie basketball team struggle. Yeah, didn't have their best outing. It looked kind of sloppy.
Well, it looked similar to Notre Dame for a little bit, right? Like
bad first half and then strong second half surge.
And a good surge to start the second half, and they were in it, and then they weren't, but they were in it.
Yeah, they just were too inconsistent and too many turnovers. We'll get to all of that later, I'm sure. But I guess if that's work, you're blessed, right?
You
are
to
watch a basketball team.
So we watched that game. We watched a little UFC. I only watch the free stuff when it comes to the UFC. I'm a cheapskate, so we watched that. We did a little UFC. We watched Hawkeye, which I know you're all over that show, right?
Is that about the guy from MASH?
No, Hawkeye is an Avenger.
Oh, the guy with the arrow, the bow and arrow.
There you go. Good show. Really good show. All right, so let's start off with Mike Elko and Duke. There was a moment, I think talking to Billy helped me kind of understand everything on Friday, but there was a moment I was like, why would anyone want to take the head job at Duke? And then I remembered, and we had a conversation about it on Friday, people have their reasons, man. Like, they want to be a head coach. They're impatient. They like that part of the country. It's an opportunity to take over a team in a part of the world that you love. I mean, who cares? It's like that's what he wanted to do. The timing was right for him, and he took it.
Yeah, from what I understand, he was at Wake Forest for several years and liked living in the Carolinas. And he had a chance to go live in the Carolinas, be in charge of a program, get paid $3 million a year or more, who knows. And, those were enough factors to make him go. Now, if it was me, and it's not, everybody has their own thoughts, but he's really good. And, maybe if he stayed one more year, a better job. He turned down Kansas. He had turned down Temple. Duke is kind of like that ilk, they typically don't win, even though they've shown in the last decade that they're capable, if everything falls right, of having a strong
season. In the last decade, would you say they're better than Duke? I mean, better than Kansas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Without a doubt. I mean, they played A&M in the Chick-fil-A Bowl in 2013. I think they had another decent year just a couple of years ago. So, but it's an uphill battle. But if that's an area of the country that you really like and you're saying, I'm tired of waiting, and this is I think this is the opportunity I've been looking for, then by all means, do whatever makes you happy. And as those that support A&M, we should just say, hey, thanks for what you did here, because he took over a really mediocre at best, and that's being kind, defense, and turned it around. And he got a defense that was ranked in the top 10 last year, and I think A&M is third in the nation in scoring defense this year. So he did a heck of a job.
He did a wonderful job. Look, we all have our reasons. We all have our timing. I don't know if you've been at a job, OB, before where you're just like, I like it here, but it's I just need a change. I just need to go do something else. I want to scratch that itch, if you will. The feeling around here is they're going to get whoever they want. And I don't know who they want, but they're going to get a good coach.
Yeah, and the coaching calendar so to speak, the timing's okay, right? It's not. It doesn't happen too late that it puts you in a tough spot. It's interesting. I haven't sat down and broken them all down and put together a list of defensively. This is ridiculous what's going on right. Not at all distracting, but yeah, Jimbo's going to get whoever he wants, and he's offensive minded enough, and I've been in enough A&M practices that to hire a guy at this pay rate and what the expectations are, mostly defensive coordinators are type A guys at this level who say, yeah, just let me do my job. All right. And Jimbo is generally, from my observation, hands off on the defensive end, right? I mean, he's with the quarterback's entire practice and he's with the offensive side, and you're going to do what he wants to get done during practice, but he lets the defense do what they want to do. And I think that's definitely appealing. I mean, it's like a dog licking your ear. I mean, it's something that everybody wants to sign up for. So yeah, he'll have his pick, and I guess it's got to happen soon with signing day, right? I mean, they got to be on top of it.
Well, Buzz, what's more important for you guys? Is it at this point with such a new team? Is it the games? Is it the practice, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I wish that we were playing the game. As you know, we played 8 games in November. That's the most number of games you can play in regards to that time frame. I think that was good. We learned a lot about our team. And then in the interim after New Orleans and prior to playing TCU, I think it was good to be able to concentrate on ourselves, on what we had learned through the first 8 games. Not being able to play, obviously there's some game rust and game slippage that comes from that. But I think we utilized the time the right way, and I think it was healthy. With the team as young as we are, we need to play and we need to practice, and sometimes we probably need to do both on the same day. So there's kind of a either or, but we need both.
Buzz Williams on the BCSI hotline. And just overall, are you happy the direction you guys are going? Obviously, it's a tough loss to TCU, but the way you guys are coming together, especially halftime adjustments and the way you guys are bringing it defensively.
Yeah, I think we've done good things. Really disappointed in our effort, in our togetherness, in our execution on Saturday. Arguably, it was the worst we played and still had a chance to win. That's to be respectful to TCU. I did not think that we were hooked up the way that we have to be hooked up defensively. We gave them way too many second shots, and then obviously we turned the ball over at the highest rate of the year. So they got 46% of the balls they missed. That's an incredibly difficult number. And then 26% of the time when we had the ball, we gave it to them. And then when we did get fouled, we shot 44% from the free throw line. If you only looked at one of those numbers, you would think that it was a double-digit game. If you look at all 3 of those numbers happening in the same game, you would not even think it was a game.
If they don't have a big year next year, Steve Sarkisian's probably Texas's first year in the SEC. There's a good chance it'll be his last. So to me, you're looking around for stability in this region. In the South, you look in Athens, Georgia, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and College Station, Texas. And that's it. That is it. Arkansas is trying to make it about, over there, but they're not really a recruiting rival. But you look around the whole SEC and you go, where is the long-term stability in this league? And out of 14 schools, it might reside at about 4 of them, with one of them being Arkansas. So I think that is a selling point that A&M needs to absolutely hammer home. But more to the here and now, this class is ranked number 3 and moving up with I think with an upward trajectory between now and Wednesday. They have a real shot to finish the early signing period at number 1.
And let's just say,
and then by the way, if they do, there's still 5-star Harold Perkins, 5-star Shamar Stewart, and high 4-star Jacoby Matthews out there in the late period.
And Billy, the rankings are against other schools, but when you look at how their recruits are being ranked by all the services out there. But at the end of the day, it's what kind of class you put together for what your program needs. And this team and this program needs offensive line, defensive line to kind of recalibrate and re-energize what they're doing there. And they're getting guys at all the positions: wide receiver, quarterback, O-line, D-line, and we're talking 5 stars at those areas.
That's a great point, Dave, and that's going to kind of play into my grading system. Is you always say, how great are the players you're signing? What percentage of the guys you said were must get and priority targets did you get? Did you go out and get the guys you wanted? A. B, are they really damn good? Like, who else wanted them? What kind of fights did you have to win to get them? What kind of talent level are we talking about here? And then the other part is, did you fill your needs? And if you can go back and say, yeah, they filled their needs with elite players and with the proper numbers, then that's an incredible class. And this might be as good a class as anything Jimbo Fisher has ever signed. Think about that. I think he signed the number 1 class once. And even if this is like number 2, it still might be as good as any class Jimbo Fisher's ever signed. And and he won a national championship, I think, with that one. I don't know what the 2012 class was like. I think they had only 19 guys, but it was way up there, if not number 1. And they won a title with that group. Or 2011, I forget what it was, the class with Jameis and those guys. So, yeah, I mean, there are needs like tight end, and look who they signed. Quarterback, look who they signed. Defensive and offensive line, like you said, you had to get the backup class to that great class of O-linemen last year, and then 2 in a row, and then you have the SEC title caliber room, and I think this group will ultimately push it into that category. You can't be a one-hit wonder on the O-line. The D-line is as good as I've ever seen. You needed DBs. Well, look, you might put together a class where Bryce Anderson and Smoke Bowie are just around like top 50 players in the country. And then if you're able to add Denver Harris here, you're talking about 3 top 50 guys, a 5-star and 2 borderline 5 stars. And that's without even mentioning the potential to add Jacoby and an elite athletic talent like Bobby Taylor and a do-it-all guy like Jared Kerr. So, I mean, it's pretty remarkable what they've done across the board in terms of addressing needs.
All right, guys, that's going to do it here for TexAgs Rewind on a Monday. If you could, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Some of you who watch this on TexAgs.com are like, where do I like it? Where do I comment? This is more for the YouTube audience, but if you want to like and comment or do whatever you want on the site as well, we appreciate it. That'll do it. Thanks so much to T-Mobile. We'll see you guys on a Tuesday.